rolling. Hi, guys. Welcome back to episode 3 of What the FDL. I am Wendy, and I don't know who this person is.
I'm comfortable. Hi, I'm comfortable.
There is a stark difference in dressing today.
Mainly because we're at Wendy's house and it's freezing here. Like, it's ridiculously
You're
freezing.
so extra. It's
And I'm putting on a hoodie. I'm putting on my sweats, and I'm going to be comfortable. And sometimes you might get me in a gown, and sometimes you're going to get me in sweats. All right?
Okay.
Right?
That's okay.
That's okay?
But the AC is not even that serious.
It's freezing.
No, it's not. It's hot in here. But anyway, welcome.
Welcome to today's episode of What the FDL, where we're talking about what's going on in our minds, the world, and everything else.
Yes. So
My name is Carla.
And I'm Wendy.
Again.
How was your week?
It was good. I feel like, I'm planning a little, vacation with the kids. But planning is a lot. But everything is good. And working, we're, heading into another work week and going from there. Okay. What about you? How are you doing, Wendy?
Thank you, Carla.
How are you doing, Wendy?
Well, I don't know. We didn't get to share this in the last couple of episodes, but we are on our workout on.
Yes. I lost 20 pounds.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shout out
I
to
went
you.
from 233
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm at 213-ish. Yeah. So
That's good. That's good. For me, I'm not counting.
we know.
I'm not counting. I know how I feel because once I start looking at the numbers, it just makes me upset. So I do go according to how I feel. But anyway, working out,
Eating right. We're drinking a lot of watermelon juice and eating a lot of watermelon.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be a little of our skin tea today, talking about the benefits of watermelon.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and also we're back. We're gonna be running. We took a little hiatus with the running because life is just lifing.
Yeah.
Business. After we had our Good Morning America piece, which was amazing. I
Which
hope you
was
guys catch it.
amazing.
It's on our link tree, so click the link.
Yeah.
And
Fleur Lee's Beauty and Aesthetics on Instagram.
yeah, so the influx of business has been booming. So we're so thankful for that. And so now we're gonna get back into our running.
Yes. Our running coach, we run with Teamwork. Shout out to Teamwork.
Shout out to Teamwork.
Out here in New York City. And our coach came to the office the
pulled
other
up.
day. He pulled up and he was like, what's going on?
Where y'all at?
Why are you guys not on the track? Why are you guys not running anymore? I don't know if you guys noticed, but I ran the New York City Marathon in 2022 and Wendy ran the Brooklyn Half in 2023.
year.
So we're trying to become we're runners. I'm a runner, all right?
No, you're right.
I'm a runner.
I'm a runner, too.
26.2, baby.
Baby.
I got the medal and everything.
That's it.
So we're trying to get back onto it. So
Yeah.
we're on a health kick.
So that was my week, trying to figure out what works for me. One of the things I realized is that I need to stop thinking about going to the gym as losing weight and more focusing on going to the gym to feel good.
Yeah.
And forget about the weight loss thing. So, and the weight loss is mostly what we eat because I love pasta.
Pasta.
I
But
love
also,
carbs.
not only just making it a lifestyle, I've learned through now creating this health and wellness journey that you don't gotta eat that much. Like, calm down.
Yeah, calm
Like,
We
you
do too
don't.
much.
You're doing too much.
Yeah,
So we don't have to eat consistently. We don't even have to eat 3 times a day. Intermittent fasting is great as long as you're taking in the proper nutrients.
Yeah.
And drinking lots of water and hydrating yourself. You'll lose the weight. Taking in more protein than carbs and fats will have your, weight melting in like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So intermittent fast, baby. Intermittent fast.
Intermittent fast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's how my week is going. Really health centered, health focused. Very excited that I'm committed. Like I went to the gym more than I usually do.
Yeah, I worked out this week 6 days. Yeah, 6 days. Shout out to the
Show off.
Peloton community. All right. I love a Peloton tread. I'm a tread. Wendy is a biker. And that's just another level of how we're both so different.
Yeah.
And I love my Peloton treadmill. And I've been working out. And so is she. So shout out to
So-
Peloton. Hopefully you can sponsor this. Hi, Peloton.
Yeah. So, but anyway, today we got some stuff that we want to talking about.
Yeah. We talking about I'm a mother. Bitch, I'm a mother. No drama.
So we're gonna be talking all things motherhood,
Multi-parenting too.
parenting.
Yeah, because sometimes people associate motherhood to just, one single person, or aunties are mamas too.
We are.
Aunties are mamas too. And I co-parent not only with my husband and my mother and my father and my board of directors, some of them who are in this room, but I co-parent with Wendy. So we're going to talk about that.
I'm gonna talk about that. My so the kids affectionately call me Tots because in Creole, ma tante, Tatsi, so they just shorten it and they're like, hey Tots, so that's my name for them, but they're my kids too.
Yeah.
When Carla was pregnant with Carla's just I don't know, man.
First of all, let's start off with saying I had children at a very tender age. So I was 21 when I had my first child. 21, right?
I don't know.
Back in the days, I was a hoe, but I'm a reformed. But I had children at a very young age. My husband and I met in college, and he was like, yo, you want to give me that slop? And I was like, yeah, I'm just kidding.
Bug it out.
So we got married at a young age. I had my daughter, who is now 17 now, who is the most amazing daughter in the world. But I started parenting at a very young age.
So with that being said, we all were on that journey with Carla parenting, because culturally too, because in the Haitian culture, when you have a baby, that first week, the baby doesn't belong to you. It belongs to grandma.
Yeah.
It belongs to auntie. Your job is to rest. So from the time Nanu came into this world, she has had a village around her and all the children that came behind her. And so for me, it's like it's my kid too. I was in the room when Carla went to that.
First of all, it's more your children than mine.
They are more. They're just not mine financially.
Yeah.
Anyway, when Carla was having the kids, when you had to go to the emergency room, we got there together. You called me and we went there together. So I'm hysterically crying. Oh my God. And the lady's like, and Carla's like, could you shut up?
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad that she had to, go through this, but you were a G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No epidural.
None.
Natural birth.
Yeah.
And it was, we
It was intense.
I was like, somebody get one leg, somebody get the other leg. Move out the way, Junior, and let's get this party started.
But when it comes to parenting, our parenting styles are super different.
Completely different.
Because it's the therapy. The way we grew up, our parents. So my mother is like a complete Care Bear.
Yeah.
And my dad is a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
Right?
He's more of the militant parent. And in hindsight, like, I loved the way my dad parented me, because although he was the the more stricter parent, I should say, he was always there to pick us up, drop off, do homework, hire tutors, as opposed to my mom, who was like, "Oh, you got a D? That's okay.
That's the best D you ever had.
Yeah, that's the best D you ever got."
And my father, you come with a 99, he goes, what happened to the rest of the point?
Yeah,
what happened
exactly.
to you? So, but for me, Carla loved the way my father parented. Me, not so much. Because, again, each kid is different. Like, I required a little bit more.
Let's preface by saying Wendy's the first child.
I am firstborn.
So, I have, a little sadness in my heart for the first child, because they're the baby child. Everybody cradles them and they get all the wah la la, they get thrown up in the air. So sometimes they don't know how to handle adversity because they're babied so much. So when having, So when having Alyssa, I knew I didn't want to parent that way, although we still winded up with another Wendy. But I didn't want to parent her to where we're doloting. I don't know how you say doloting. Coddle her to the point where she wasn't able to function in society. So let's say
that I'm not functioning.
No. Wendy functions in society.
I'm just a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah, she's more sensitive. So let's say that Wendy does a lot more of the gentle parenting, where I do more of the supportive role, like encouraging parenting, right? Yeah.
So like when it comes to me, I guess you parent the way you wanted to be parented as a kid. And my dad, again, love him, did everything, but he was just, And as an adult, when we talk now, and I'm like, Dad, why were you so mean? And he goes, because I was afraid.
Yeah.
And so I have two beautiful daughters outside in the world. So I needed to be mean. So at least you had something that you were afraid of, that you wouldn't do too much, you know? So, but now when we talk as adults, my father's an intelligent man. He's an amazing father, very sacrificial. You know, now that I understand him as an adult, it makes sense what he's saying. But I wish, you know, that he was just a little bit softer, or maybe like explain things to me better, because I don't do things because you said so. I do them because they make sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I would always get in trouble, because I'm like, he would say, do this. And I'm like, why? And he would be like, because I said so. And I'm like, so? You know, and then you know how that thing goes, right? So I guess, so to bring to my point is, when it comes to parenting the kids, I want to hear what they have to say. Here's an example. We have Hensley, who's our brother's son. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Right?
Family drama.
He's our brother's son, right? So he had a situation at school where he was labeled as bullying a kid, and that's not how the situation.
Yeah.
He's a Care Bear.
Yeah.
So, but when Carla got the news, she was like, I don't want Hensley to be labeled as a bully. What happened in the class? You know, just so he's startled, because he's like, he's trying to put the pieces together. So I was like, you know what? Come talk to me, right? And he's crying. I'm like, why are you crying? And he goes, because I say, we believe everything that you say. Say what happened. He gave us the story, and I said, okay, so this is the case that you need to apologize to so-and-so because they didn't understand what you were doing. Let's write a letter to your friend so you could, you know, have a play date or whatever. And we did that. The next day he came back, Tots, I spoke to so-and-so, I gave him the letter, now we have a play date. So I say that to say, a lot of times, just the way we grew up as a Caribbean Haitian.
Yeah, it was always do what you're told, and there's no conversation.
Yeah.
Where now we're trying to interject like a conversational emotional intelligence into the parenting. Well, for me, when I found that out, my children go to a predominantly white school. So I have a black brother son, and I want to make sure that he, you know, doesn't fall into those traps, you know, because when you're raising young black men, you always want to make sure that you're raising stand-up, you know, characters. So I was coming from it at a place of fear, where Wendy was with her therapy brain. She put her therapy cap on, and she was like, let's talk about it, right?
Let's talk about it. Because I'm their advocate.
Yeah.
Because they did not come from my loins, right? I think that that extra passion that a mother would have for their kid, or a father would have, that's the little piece that I'm missing, because they're looking at it like, I don't know, from a pride symbol. I don't know how to label what I'm trying to say. It'll come to me. So the action of you getting more upset at the kids, sometimes you need another person to balance it out, to be like, wait, because these kids be bugging out.
And that's the benefit of my dynamic. I have my husband who we parent together, but we are big on community parenting. And that's something that I feel like we're missing in this society now, where we're not raising each other or each other's children and telling them like, oh, so-and-so did this, and holding other people's children accountable.
Right.
So I'm happy that I have that village, and my children have that village where if they feel like they're not comfortable to come to me and talk to me, they can go to my sister, or they can go to the board of directors, which we're going to get into as well. There's a community of people that they could rely on, godmothers, godfathers, that they could rely on to give them sound advice. So if I feel like I'm making a decision that's not, you know, that they don't really like, they can come to me and talk to me. So that's the best part about our relationship and parenting with your sister. And a lot of people think it's just parenting with your husband or your whatever, but it's a community affair.
Well, let me don't give the Oprah experience here, because when you get it ready to tell me those are not your kids, those are my kids, and I'll be like,
no.
But I get over it. But I understand too, because also sometimes it's bad cop, good cop.
Yeah.
And when I come in, I'm like, no, the kids should have pizza because I believe that they should.
Yeah.
And then Carla's like, no, they're going to bed because they had an opportunity to eat and they didn't do it. So it's bedtime. So you have to also set boundaries with the kids. So me being an advocate for them, which is my favorite job in the world. See, even this necklace,
Oh my
let me
gosh.
talk about this necklace. So Alyssa's going to college, right? So I feel like she's going to be gone soon. So I wanted to create some memories and things with her while she's still here. So we got matching charms on our necklace together. So I have an E for Alyssa and she has a W for me. And then Ella, last week, and I lost it. Ella gave me a charm. She was like, "Oh, since you want to do charms," and so she gave me a donut. But it's because it didn't hook properly, so it came off. But Ella, I'm gonna put my donut back on here, and let's talk about our brother's son.
Yes.
Again, this is all about transparency. So we call him brother's son because Carla didn't actually give birth to him.
No.
And he is our brother.
Yes.
So in every family dynamic, things happen. Our dad had a son. My father is 60.
He was a Rolling Stone. He was a Rolling Stone. And like boom, 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 boom.
Carla, the gestures. So, definitely, he rolled a stout.
He rolled a stout.
But again, that was a very interesting piece of our family puzzle. So there was a situation that, stepped out and he ended up having a son, and I woke up one day and there was a kid in the house.
Yep.
And we were like, what do we do with this kid?
And he came from Haiti. He was born in Haiti.
Yeah.
And he came over with my dad, and my dad was circling the airport with him because he was like, what am I going to say? How am I going to come home and, bring this new child into the house? But thankfully, my parents raised great children who are loving, who are compassionate. And I already had 2 children of my own. I had Alyssa and Ella. And when I saw this young man, he was like 3 years old. He was a baby.
He's so cute.
And every child deserves a group of parents. Every child deserves to be raised with their father and mother in the house. And to think that he was going to go back to Haiti and he wasn't going to have his dad around, my husband and I decided that we were going to raise him as our son, right? And it was a tough decision. Shout out to my husband. Y'all always going to hear me shout my husband out.
Shout out to your man.
Shout out to my man, my man.
Your man.
Because he manned up and said, you know what? This is what you want. Although I have 2 children of my own, I'm going to take him on as my son and I'm going to raise him as such. And now, when you think of Hensley, he is such a great addition to the family.
He definitely brought the pulse back into the family.
Yeah.
Because everyone was getting older. My brother, who was the youngest, is now 32. So it was if you look at it from the outside, it's like drama. Father cheating.
And people feed on that drama because a lot of people wanted us to react negatively.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the case. A lot of people were like, oh, what are they going to do? How are they going to do this? Because again, my mother, who my parents are still married, let's say that they've been married for 42, however old Wendy is. My parents who are still married, my mom took on another child, and my mom loves Hensley. I feel like she loved him more than she loved me.
That's her son. And it was a very interesting time.
Yeah.
Because my father first he tried to bully us into, oh, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And we're like, no, it's not.
Actually.
Because you're gonna do this our way or alone.
Yeah.
So when he realized he was bugging out, we had to do this as a family. He realized, because Hensley is his biological son.
Yeah.
And Junior stepped in because Junior's younger, and there's Alyssa and Ella. So the titles and the labels are a little mixy, but at the end of the day, he has multiple people who love him dearly.
Yeah.
And again, outside, it looks really wild because here's the thing: when he first came around, they went to a play date, a party or whatever with Hensley, and everybody, and Ella was probably 6 or 7 at the time, I don't remember. And Ella was like, they're like, hey Ella, or her friends, who's this kid? She goes, oh yeah, that's my baby uncle.
My baby uncle.
My baby uncle. She's not wrong, but we're like, don't say that. at the end of the day, because we love Hensley, he's ours, but then the story is like, it was a scandal. The story is kind of like, yeah. So, we try to be like, you don't have to say baby uncle. He's your brother, so. And now everybody's like, when did Carla have a son? So
Like,
just shut up.
Just shut up.
But anyway, when Hensley came to the house, and it was a lot of resistance. For me, I was so shocked that I left and I didn't come back for a day or two.
Yeah.
Because I needed time to process what was going on. Not so much because of him, but my mother. What is going on in her house?
We wanted to make sure we, as her biological children, wanted to support her in her decisions.
Yeah.
And she looked at us and was like, I'm all in. And she was standing by her man. So let me tell you guys something. For all the children out there, when your dad messes up, go with whatever your mother's going with, right?
Yeah.
Because that's none of your damn business.
Not at all, because he's your father and not and every story is unique to the situation. But we had to realize in the beginning, trust me, we were like, but then I had to say, Carla, that is our father. He didn't do anything to us. If mommy is down for the situation and she sees like it fit and she could work through it, then we gotta support her and work through it. And I'm so glad we did, because we have a beautiful family. Our brother's son is now 7.
Yeah.
He is
tons of birthday parties.
Yeah.
When he landed, we went straight to Paris.
Yeah, we went to Paris. So his passport is tatted up more than ours.
Yeah, more than ours. And he has a great life. And my husband and I had to decide on, what we're going to do with schooling. And my father was like, I'm not paying for private school, right? So then Junior and I had to come up and say, you know what? If my other 2 children has access to a private education, then so will he.
Yeah.
So we took it upon us to make sure we enrolled him in the same kind of education that my children were receiving, and making sure that everyone is being raised.
Did I just do the extracurriculars? And so again, it's a village. My dad.
So that's our family dynamic.
Yeah, that's the family dynamic. That's the tea.
Yeah.
And we're not embarrassed, because every family has a story. A lot of secrets. A lot of family have secrets.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, who married who did what. I'm just glad that our secret is out and we know what it is. And my parents are happy. They're happy.
Yes, they're happy.
They're happy and they're good. But I will say that to see Carla parent and to see Junior parent is like, they are the best, right?
Thank you, if I will say so myself.
They are the best. But when it comes, if we could spotlight Carla for a second, she is the best mother, not better than mine, but the best mother ever, because Carla is going to sacrifice. She's going to get mad. When you see her get frustrated, it's because she wants the kids to do it right, and she gives them their all. And to watch you go from a weirdo kid that was like 21 years old,
and I was also a troubled child, because I'm troubled. Meaning troubled in the sense where I like to get, into stuff. I'm the middle child, so
they knew.
They always have the first child who's like perfect, and the last child who's babied, and the middle child is just trying to figure out where they land. So I got into a little trouble, and I don't want that trouble for my children. So of course they're going to learn their own lessons, but I always try to explain to them what my truths are, so that they don't have to do the same thing or go down the same route that I went down. I always explain I didn't graduate from high school, right? And I dropped out of high school because I felt like it was boring, right? And now that I have a soon-to-be high school graduate, to me, that's the most amazing feeling in the world. And not only did she graduate, is she graduating, God willing,
God will.
In the upcoming year, she's graduating with great grades, and she has a great sense of organization, a great sense of who she is, but only because she learned through my mistakes. And I was transparent with her to let her know, this is what I did and this is what I don't want you to do. So when parenting, a lot of people try to say they won't tell their children their past, and they don't want their children to know what they did. I want my children to know who I was and who I've evolved and become. as a parent, so that they learn like, oh, my mom was this, and my mom will rock your jaw if you know,
Facts.
if you mess with her.
Tati will pull up with the one
She will
too.
pull up, but she's also caring, nurturing, supportive, and will jump through hoops to make sure that they get what they get.
Yeah. And you know, when you say you were troubled, I think
I mean that word
let
loosely.
me be quiet. I know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you were misunderstood.
Yes.
Because if we had the same information that we had now with how you looked at school education back then, that wasn't the right school for you. You
Yes.
needed something a little bit more progressive.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I was bored too, but I just was so pressed on being the best that I just did my best,
Yeah.
you know, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's when I got into college, I realized there's some learning issues here with me. And thank God, you know, I got the support that I needed to make it through. But when it comes to like motherhood, when it comes to, how you have grown into being this person that you are, I don't know how you're going to drop Alyssa off at college. We're going to need people to carry you out. Because even when Ella went to pre-K, I wish I could pull up a picture.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to give Alice a picture so he can plug in.
Yeah.
Such a crybaby when Ella was going to kindergarten, but you know, you have sacrificed yourself to give the kids more than our parents gave us, and I commend you for it. And I just want to give a shout out to me because I am the best Tati.
No, and I say that because Wendy talks, you know, she spoke a lot about it. I thank you so much for speaking about my parenting skills, but I can't parent like that without Wendy. And I again, trust me, I love my husband. He's the most supportive person in the world. But you always need that second eye, that third eye, that fourth eye.
She won't make a move.
Literally, my husband, we were talking, I was like, I don't know, we got to decide what colleges and do college tours. And he's always like, well, don't you want to go ask Wendy? Don't you want to go ask Wendy? Oh, Wendy's calling me because y'all not friends today. Or everything I do.
I be calling Junior when I'm not your friend.
Every decision that I make for the kids is because my sister, down to the school that they attend right now.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, down to, like, so let me say that, every decision that I make, I have to run it by my sister and by the board of directors, which we're going to get to soon. But even the school that they go to now is because my sister said yes. So go.
Oh, well, real quick, you know, I was working in the city. I saw these little kids with these cute uniforms. I started doing an investigation. And this is before Alyssa was born.
Yes.
I called Carla and I said, this is the school that she's going to. Fast forward 5-6 years later, we ended up in the same school with a little uniform. And that's when I knew manifestation. Everything just came together.
Yes.
And what sold me was when they said, we're giving education for these girls so they can be prepared for jobs that don't exist yet. So I'm like, damn. So now we're looking at AI. We're looking at all these places and she's doing robotics and doing all these different things. So it's just like everything just came together. But again, I was thinking about these kids before, you know, I was thinking about
their conception.
Yeah. So,
And she named them.
I named them. Well, actually, they were my names.
Yes.
And you stole them. And when I said, hey, Carla, that is the name that I will name my daughter, she say, well, have one. And then you can keep it. And you already know how the dating pool outside. So we'll get into that. But so yeah, I'm very, very just into the mesh of the kids, of what they do. And I'm just so happy that I got a firsthand experience, because motherhood is going to be a lot easier for me, I think.
Yeah. Wendy, as a mom, just like to think in the future, she's definitely going to be one of those Hobo Park Slope moms.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not, my kids are not going to the upper.
No, they're going to be at Montessori.
Yeah, I'm because life is, I don't know. I'm just not into that whole structure anymore. I think I want my kids to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to force them into this structure, because that's not how life is. And I'm not raising my kids to work in a specific environment. I want them to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And I may I may just be saying this now and be like, you know what? It's legacy. You're going where the kids went. But
and speaking of directing your children, and you know, when we were talking, Junior and I, like, oh, you know, Alyssa wants to go to medical school. All right, it would be great if she became a doctor. And Wendy decided to say, what if she doesn't want to be a doctor?
What if she doesn't want?
What if she doesn't want to be a doctor? And we're like, but Wendy, she would definitely want to be a doctor, right? I know. And she's like, no, I think she's better in interior design. And now Alyssa's like, you know what? Maybe you're right, Tati. And maybe I want to be an interior
Yeah, I
designer.
definitely got cursed out that day. But
Yeah, by me.
but I feel like, you know, we're past that Caribbean thing where
Yeah.
doctor, lawyer, banker, you know, with nurse, like we're past that. You can still, people are making money on social media.
Yeah.
They make more money than us. You know what I mean? So the world has evolved from when our parents were, because they were looking for security for
Yeah.
us. Now they're secure.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't have to go to medical school.
No.
You know, shout out to all the doctors though. You can be an interior designer. You can be in marketing. You can be whatever you want to be, but just be happy.
Yeah,
That's
be
also what my mother be like, you want to strip the stupid garbage? Be the best garbage stripper
You can be.
you can be.
And that's one thing I will say about my mom. We had two complete different parents.
Yeah.
And my mom told us that no one was better than us.
Yeah.
Like, she would ingrain that. And I take that to my children. I'm like, you're amazing. Who's better than you? And they'll say, nobody. And I was raised with my mom telling me, who's better than you? And she's like, nobody. She's like, you come from my blood and I'm amazing. So she gave us the confidence
Yeah.
to think
Yeah.
that we can be anything we wanted to be. I think Kanye was saying that too. And look at Kanye now.
Yeah. I mean, well, look at
He's
him.
amazing.
Anyway,
Fine,
yeah.
whatever.
We love you, Kanye. We
love you, Kanye.
Come back home.
But,
So, well,
but I say all that to say that she gave him the courage to dream big, right? And my mom gave us the courage to dream big, and our father gave us the discipline to stay
because
amazing, right?
that man,
Yeah.
that
You
man,
need
when we had to
discipline.
get up to go to school in the morning, God forbid we oversleep. He will bust it open.
You don't know you have school?
So you are a banker. You are off today. The bank is closed. You know, you're like, well, I'm not, what are you talking about? I'm not a banker.
And he was huge on accountability.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I try to take the little snippets that my parents gave us and give it to them just in a little softer way, because we're a little harsh. But he was huge on understanding that time is not on your side.
Time is not on your side.
That time is not on your side, and making sure that you do things that make you happy and making sure that you educate yourself. Hence, Black and highly educated, right?
Yeah.
He always thought about education first, and especially as first generation Haitian Americans, they put us in private school. And despite I didn't graduate, that's also because, again, I wasn't in the right setting. I did go on to complete college, and I went to nursing
He
school.
was so supportive.
And he was supportive in my transition.
Yeah.
So it's important to say that you can have two completely different parenting styles and bring those together and have a dynamic duo.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
me and Wendy.
Yeah.
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 So when talking about careers, I want to talk about parenting and being in business and being a wife. And
Well, before we get to that,
yeah.
we focus a lot about parenting and motherhood and all of that. Back to me. I am none of those things.
Yeah, but she will be.
I will be.
If anyone's out there, we're looking for a man. We're looking for a man. And my sister is she's going to be the most amazing mom. Not as amazing as me, because I'm going to be supporting her. But she's so kind. She's so gentle. She's all about communication. She's all about getting down to your level.
No, because when you go down to the kids' level,
Yeah.
then it's me and you. But if I'm speaking up here, it's too much authority. So you
Yeah.
have to understand.
So she is definitely gonna be one of those moms who you're gonna look at a little side eye when you see her in the street. But she's also one of the moms who doesn't play with disrespect.
I don't play with disrespect.
No, she doesn't like disrespectful children. So she's gonna have the right amount of balance. So if you're out there, call me. You can email me at info@FDLBeauty, matchmaker@FDLBeauty.com.
No, but you know, life is different for each of us. So we just had a little snippet about Carla's life as a mother, as a parent, as all those things. But for me, one of the biggest misconceptions, they think that when you're single or, you know, you don't have children, that you have nothing but time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't got nothing going on, you know, you just out here bugging out. And I be bugging out.
Yeah, bugging out.
But I also am too busy. I'm not saying that I want any of those things, because we all know that right now dating is very challenging.
Yeah. For you, yeah.
It's challenging, but I'm also trying to flip my mindset about dating, and it doesn't have to be that hard. I think I'm making it more hard than it needs to be because I'm also afraid of it.
Oh, and she's also looking for the Princess Zamunda. You saw?
I'm trying to be a woman of leisure, and Zamunda will support it. Period. You know, so I do desire to become a mom and a wife and all those things, and I just think God is still working on me and working on that person. So I'm not out for the count.
No.
You know, so I'm still swiping.
Swiping.
Can you see my finger?
But we're going to talk about that. That's going to be another episode. We're Matchmaker with Wendy.
Oh, yeah, you know, we should have an episode.
Yeah, we should have an episode where Wendy comes and we match her up with Mr. Right. But
Get money.
to talk about getting money, business and parenting as aunt and business owner and parenting as a mom, it's hard. And you'll go and on a regular day, I'll have to work, I'll see 10 clients and I'm going to parent coffee session, or I'm running a benefit, or I'm doing a skate party. There's so many things that I do as a mom and as a business owner, and we have to talk about
a balance. Again, I prefaced before that, you know, life is very challenging when, you know, you have to balance motherhood, single life, business. And Carla does a lot. Like, literally, I have to be like, girl, like, if you didn't watch the people pleasing episode, that totally ties into that. But you know, I think when Carla says she has to be PR for her children, and that is her pushing, having conversations, speaking to people, you know, because those are that's how it works. Like, literally, oh yeah, you need an internship, you need this, you need that. So you really have to negotiate and network for your kids to get them into the spaces that you want to get them into. Where for me, as a single person, although I'm not currently thinking about that, I'm thinking about, you know, the dating world and getting to know myself and, you know, creating this life that I want for me and preparing for those things that I want to get into in the future. So,
and sometimes as a person living who has responsibilities, you don't take time for yourself. And I will say that I went through a period of time because I was so focused on my children and my marriage that I neglected myself, and I found myself having multiple panic attacks and anxiety attacks and winding up in the emergency room
every day,
every other day, because I was on overload of making sure that they had good friendships and making sure that they got the right test scores and tutors and extracurriculars and were in the proper social settings. Or did I have sex with my husband today? Like, there were so many things that I had to balance out that it threw me overboard. And I had to kind of reorganize myself. So the tools that I took in account, it was like I had to hire an assistant or someone to check my emails or answer my calls or be responsible for follow-ups. And when I had the virtual assistant, I felt like my life was at clear. And I know sometimes people feel like they can't afford, or that's not something that fits within their budget. But there's different things like calendar management that you can implement yourself, or you know, reminders on your phone.
Money, like, find the bread. No, seriously, find the bread. Like, it. For me, even this weekend, I had to clean, and I don't have a huge apartment, but I feel like I need a cleaning lady.
Yeah, but even with finding the bread, sometimes in the economy that we living in, it's not the easiest thing to find the bread. So there's tools that we can use, like calendar management and friendship. Even if you have a friend that you could say, you know what, I'll exchange, you barter. If you help me, if you know, like I know Keisha, shout out to Keisha. She got her planner on tap, and she's good at sending me text messages or showing up to my office and saying, sign that damn paper, right? Or send that money or whatever have you. You have friends that you could count on who have great organizational skills. Or if it's a cousin, like shout out to my cousin Patricia, who was queen of the organization life, who got me back into order, went into my emails and like put folders and everything.
That was the happiest time.
That was the happiest time of my life. So although there may not be finances available, you have friends or family that can help you get your life back in order so you can have that balance. Now I find myself, I'm off on Mondays. I'll go on a date with my husband on a Monday while the kids are at school. We call it matrimonial Mondays, right? Where we hanging out with each other, we go have brunch with each other, or we take that time out to, pour back into ourselves.
Well, for me, I know Carla talked a little bit about like what her mental episodes were for me. So the thing is that I'm very private. So my
Private is an understatement. We don't know nothing about when. Who are you dating? Nobody.
The thing is that when I look back at last year when I had that heart episode, I think that was also a compilation of the stress that I was dealing with, that almost
And lack of balance.
and lack of balance that almost caused me to have a heart attack. And also too, just because being single in New York is so different.
Yeah.
Like, because you're thinking about, and also I am 25 plus shipping and handling.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're thinking about age. You're thinking about, am I going to age out? And it's not because men are not approaching. It's because it's the quality. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a slice of pizza, but you could also have a good slice of pizza. I'm trying to have a good slice. So, it's the quality that I'm looking at, and spirituality and all that stuff that I have to check off, and make sure that's all right. So for me, I'm thinking about, damn, like, what am I going to do? Is this going to happen for me? Whatever, or I'm good. I don't need nobody. I'm straight. I got it, so it's just like, it gets really, sad.
No, but it's important, like I said, for us to know what we want and know how to get what we want and bring the proper tools to help us live these everyday lives. It's difficult for everyone, but it's important to maintain your mental health, like to get the support that you need, especially because I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, driving the kids to school, which is almost an hour and a half away, and then making sure that they're on time, making sure they had breakfast, making sure we make it back to the office to start the clients, and then go home, do homework, and so on and so forth.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Let me tell you, there's times where I FaceTime Carla. I'm like, girl, I gotta go. Yeah. There's violin in the background. There's a piano.
And then there's 2 dogs barking.
Sounds barking. My 2 dogs barking at her house. And I'm like, it's a lot, because when I come home, I want absolute quiet. And I also feel like when I do have a partner that's in the space with me, he can't talk to me when I come home.
Yeah.
We did a whole episode of that. What do you want? But yeah, balance is very much key in our lives when it comes to being a mother, because I feel like I'm a pseudo mom.
Yeah, and definitely a pseudo mom. And we implemented, even like when you talk about peace and quiet, whenever I need a little peace and quiet at the house, we implemented dear time, drop everything and read, right? So that not only gets me the peace and quiet, but it also gets the kids to reading what they have to read. So I'm kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
So when I say, or when my husband says, everybody, it's dear time, everybody go find a book. Go find a book.
Go find a corner.
Go find a corner.
Or I could play a game like, let's see who could be quiet the longest.
So we implement different things just so I don't want the children to feel like I'm too busy or I'm too tired or anything like that. But I still want to start knocking 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, we say all that to say that we're not, you always want to be available to the kids, but you also want to have things that implement a peace of mind.
Well, you know what? Before we jump into our next bullet, we talked about like your balance and all that stuff. But for me, I'm on this journey of trying to like rediscover self, because even like when we're chatting, you're like, when you tell me 3 things about about you, and I had to think too hard. I had to think too hard about it. So I'm like, so now I'm like doing like self dates, enjoy. I love the museum. I was super cheesy, but I love art. I could drop it like it's hot sale.
We don't. Virgos. They be acting like they so scrim and fried, sweet in the streets, slutty in the sheets.
But that's nobody's business.
Nobody's business.
Yes, serious business.
Back to serious,
because I'm a Christian. But anyway, just finding that balance for myself and taking Mondays off. You have matrimonial Mondays. I have Mondays with me, right? So I do my own thing, and the half of it is not answering your phone calls.
Yep.
And so yeah, finding personal balance within your business, because it will take you down.
Yes, and using your circle if you don't have the financial means to hire an assistant,
Yeah.
use your organized friend or use your cousin or use technology. There's so many ways to implement organization and balance in your life now that no one should be stressing and doing, or seek therapy. The insurance covers it or whatever have you. There's ways. Or come get a facial. I'll talk to you.
In fact, I mean, I think with therapy, but you know what? In the same breath, we say that it takes a village. Now, people say that term loosely, but for us,
Yes.
it really is a village.
Yes.
Like the board of directors.
The board of directors. Now, I know we've mentioned the board of directors many times, but we're finally at the point to talk about the board. And I think as a parent, everyone needs a board of directors.
That.
Because the board
It's a non-profit.
no, it's definitely not profit because they're not benefiting anything. Literally,
Like, yeah, no break.
no breath. I instituted the board of directors because I wanted to make sure I wasn't bugging out. You know what I mean? So the board of directors is my checks and balances. Right? So with my daughter, like I don't do sleepovers, right? My children don't sleep out. And anytime they come to me and they're like, Mom, can I go sleep over, blah, 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 or can I go to Zimbabwe? And I'm like, okay, I got to consult with the board of directors. Who you going with? Is it safe? Do you need a passport? Who's going to be there with you? And if the board of directors, if they voted no,
It's no.
it's a no. And those are the people that help us. I want to shout out Keisha, Melissa, Shari, Melissa, my sister, my mom, my dad, and Patricia, the God Barnes, Uncle Bush. Those of our board of directors who is almost like our sounding board for myself and Junior, to make sure Natanya, my best friend, those are the people, Auntie Rita.
Let's stop because we
Yeah. I don't want to forget anybody. But those are the people who I count on to make sound decisions, and they're the checks and balances. Not all of them have children. Some of them do, some of them don't. So that kind of gives us a balance to say, like, is it a good idea? Is it bad? So I'm going to let Wendy give examples of why the board of directors is needed.
So, okay. So there was a point in time where one of my nieces needed to go to a trip.
Yeah.
It was out of New York, and she asked to go alone. And we said,
Hell nah. Hell nah. To the no. Hell to the no.
we said, girl, beat it. You're not going. So then, Carla said to beat it.
Yeah.
Junior definitely said, don't come to me.
Don't come to me.
So this said niece said to me, she came to me and she was like, yo, Tots, like, really? I've got to go. Like, it's going to be lit. And I just don't want to be the only person that's not there. I was like, so what's the details?
Because superhero Tati has to put on her auntie cape, put it out, and save the day.
So I was like, so what's the details? Are they going to be boys there? Like, what's going on? She's like, no, but we got to get on the plane. We got to go sleep. I was like, get on the plane. You asking for a lot? Let me talk to my client and see what I can do for you, right? Well, so then I wanted to call in Junior. I was like, guys, so, it's going to look a little wild if she doesn't go. So what can we do? So as we're out having dinner.
No shame in my game.
We're out having dinner and Carla goes, you know what? We're all going to go. We're going to call it the incognito trip. Incognito. So we're going to go, but it's almost like we're not there, right? We're going to put the app on the phone. We're going to follow her wherever she is. So there's always security in there. There's always Secret Service in the area.
Here's my thing.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So now we all come to the decision. We bought plane tickets.
And let's say how many all is.
How many all?
We're talking about my whole family plus 1, 2, 3, 4 board of directors.
4 board of directors were able to go on this trip.
Yeah.
So for our one niece to go to a birthday situation and wherever she went, we took a flight together and we made sure that the package was reached safely to go. So that goes to show you, first of all, shout out to the board of directors because they bought their flights. They were ready to roll, at a drop of a dime. But we just needed to make sure that Precious Cargo was handled in the proper way. So those are the links that we had to go. And I'm giving you the watered down.
The watered down.
One day I'll give you the real tea on how we.
I will say this, and I'm gonna let y'all know a little bit further. But the reason why, and I like what Wendy said, that is Precious Cargo.
Yeah.
My children, I will do anything in the world for them as long as it's safe and it makes sense. And in a day and age that we're living in where there's trafficking and there's things, I trust a lot of people with my children. I trust their friends. I just don't trust the world.
Yeah.
Right? And I trust the moms and their friends' parents. I just don't trust the world. And in order for me to have a sound mind, because God entrusted me with these children.
Facts.
And you don't play with what God entrusts you with,
Facts.
right? You don't abuse what God entrusts you with.
Facts.
You have to make sure they make it safe. And I remember on my 21st birthday, my mother said, "Thank you, Jesus. I did my job, and I'll continue to doing my job."
Enjoy. That's what means. Whatever you do, it's on you now.
But it was her job to make sure we made it through certain milestones.
Yeah.
And we weren't taken advantage of.
Mhm.
So when my sister says it's Precious Cargo, it really is. So that cargo, that time, missed her flight. That cargo had Tati running through the airport.
Well, I felt in LaGuardia, yo. I felt, and people were laughing at me in LaGuardia.
Yes, that Precious Cargo had security detail on her tail because we, as a collective, as a family, as a board of directors. So that's why I say I'll do anything for my board of directors.
First of all, when Alyssa was walking through the hotel, she had board of directors in the hotel. They'd be like, subject is coming through the lobby right now. She's about to get in the Uber, license plate to da-da-da-da-da, heading to the direction, loading her on the app. And we were absolutely like that.
And you know what? I'm not ashamed of that. And a lot of people, say, "Oh, you helicopter parent," or so on and so forth.
Helicopter.
I am not. If that's the case, I'm a private jet.
Okay.
Because I'm going to transport my children to where they need to be. They're going to get there safely, and they're going to return home safely in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So I say all that to say we're going to make sure she meet those milestones. She goes on dates. She'd what's the movie called? Bad Boys? Where the uncle is there. We have all of that, that security detail. So I'm happy that I can call on them at a drop of a dime.
And also, too, there's value in that.
Yeah.
When outside looking in, because when Alyssa goes to start dating, or Ella, or even Ensley, they're going to know they can't come mess around.
No.
Because board of directors...
Yeah, board of directors. And even like the other day, Alyssa was like, "Oh, I want to go to so-and-so." And one of the board of directors was like, "I don't know. I'm going to try. But it don't look good." And it didn't look good. Yeah. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So although the board of directors has a say, Junior and I have a final say, but we take into account how they feel. Is it safe, or with their experiences? Yeah. So I say all that to say, if you don't have a board of directors today,
get one.
Find a group of 5 or 10 people that you trust their judgment, whether it's a godmother, godfather, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends.
It doesn't have to be that many.
It doesn't have to be that many. And trust in them that, God forbid something happened, they got your back.
They got your back, and they'll advocate fairly for your kid and you. And also, you can't get mad if you're not hearing what, if you're not in agreement with what they're saying. Because half the times, caller don't want to hear what I have.
Absolutely not.
And then she's going to call me back like, I was feeling like I really had to really meditate on what you had to say. So, I'm giving it a sign. I'm going to try. And so just be open to because everyone comes with a different life experience. So
and different situations.
Yeah, we're so thankful for our board of directors.
Yeah,
I already have mine in place.
Yeah.
There's applications are open if you want to file.
Absolutely. And even if your name wasn't mentioned now, because everybody's gonna like, "What's your name? Say my name." Say my name. I said your name. You're in my heart. I love you guys. Even if you're not necessarily, even my clients, some of my clients, when I told them, they were like, hell no, so they're a part of the extended board of directions. They're part of the foundation, so don't want to offend anyone. I'm just very thankful for the supportive group.
Yeah, high five to the board.
High five to the board of directors. Yes. Hello. Attention. It's time for some skin tea.
And it's hot. So, guys, let's talk about exfoliants. A lot of times people think that the harder you scrub, the better the results are going to be. And funny enough, no matter how much we preach, no matter how much we talk about it, people still come with St. Ives, apricot scrub on their face. I don't care. I don't care St. Ives. I don't care. It is what it is. It is something. It's a foot scrub because it is so abrasive.
It has walnuts in it.
There is.
Even as many times as it changed the product, it's still not.
It's still too much. Think about, okay, if you want to use that, just compare it to using a cheese grater on your face.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's too much. And so exfoliating is good. It doesn't, the harder you exfoliate, doesn't get rid of like your blackheads and whiteheads. Really, what gets rid of that is your esthetician.
What's important to do, one, not to exfoliate every single day.
Yeah, 2 to 3
times. That's unnecessary to exfoliate. Twice a week is fine.
Yeah.
And then also using a BHA toner or AHA toner, that's a glycolic or salicylic acid that helps exfoliate. Another thing that's great is using some form of vitamin A or retinol or retinoid. Helps with exfoliation of the skin. But we want to step away from actually scrubbing the skin using the
harsh abrasives and
abrasive things on
the towelettes that have that's beaded. You want to use things that are gentle in your skin because you don't want to fracture and mess up your barrier. And making sure even after you exfoliate that you're hydrating and protecting your barrier as well. So do not use these abrasive, aggressive, charcoal, all these extra things on your skin because it's actually, it feels like you're doing something, but you're actually making the situation a lot worse. So,
and if you need a little bit more direction, again, we are registered nurses and licensed estheticians. You can get a virtual consultation at info@fdlbeauty.com. Seek us on Instagram at Laced Beauty and Aesthetics or call us at 718-650-2659.
So yeah, a lot of times you do need a professional to step in, right? Because there's only so much that you can do at home. We do have the tools, the expertise to help you get through it. So making sure that, yes, you can gently exfoliate at home, but also you can also get a facial or a chemical peel or using, different products to help you with that process, but not being so rough.
So call us. We want to go into our myth buster. We always like to leave you with a myth buster and a good word. And since we're on the topic of parenting and being moms and stuff like that, I want to break the myth that in order to be a good parent, you have to always put your children's needs before yourself. And that is a lie. In order to actually be a good parent, you have to pour into yourself first, understanding who you are, fill yourself with the tools needed to pour back into someone else, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And then that will allow you to create great children. And the only thing that could tell you that you have good children is time. So put yourself first.
And your man.
And your man, of course. But put yourself first. Take your time. Pray in the morning. Meditate. Words of affirmation. Pour into yourself. Have a healthy breakfast. Go to the gym. Work, do something for yourself. And then wake up and, start on working on those kids. I know for myself, I always try to wake up before my children so I could maybe take a few minutes to myself. So that's something I want to tell you guys as moms and as dads out there. You can't pour from an empty cup. All right, guys. So we have come to the end of this episode, and we want to give you, little words of encouragement. And what we're thinking. We're going to end with this.
So, Carla, I think we should end with prayer.
Yeah.
We said a lot, and family. At the end of the day, no matter what kind of family, whether you're born into it, whether it's a family you created, it needs to be threaded with the faith and, the spirituality of God. At least for us, that is our perspective. because, we're just navigating through this world.
And we're not perfect.
Yeah, we're not perfect, and we always lean on God for our support. No matter how wild we get, that is always the foundation for us. So give me your hand.
Give me your hand.
And we're going to pray for I need a manicure.
You do.
Yeah. We're going to pray for our people. We're going to pray for you guys and ourselves in this episode. And so close your eyes and bow your head. Well, anyway, Father God, we just want to thank you right now for this opportunity and in this platform. And we ask that we make you known, and we're covering all of our parents and all of our mothers and all of our singles and everyone who is in that family dynamic. If there's any fractures in any families right now, we ask that you kind of bring them together, Father God, and find healing in the families. And we ask that you cover the children, the mothers, the fathers, the people, the singles, the people who are finding or looking for love. We ask that you cover them and connect them in this season, Lord. And we thank you for what's about to come. And we're asking for your divine intervention where it's needed. And we're asking for your undying love where it's needed as well. We thank you so much. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
On that note, I love you so much. So listen, I know you loved what you... Get off of me.
Get off of me.
Get off of me.
Get off of me first.
I know. I know that... let me give you a hug.
No, I don't want
Let me give you a hug. We just pray. Anyway, if you loved what you've heard today, also, I do personal prayers. If you need to pray for me, I'll pray for you.
And if you need a stopping at a demon,
Yeah.
I'll stop demons out.
That's not demon. So, let us know. But in any event, if you want to hear more, if you have more questions, you can hit us up at FDL Podcast at FDLBeauty.com. If you want to hit us on our DM at WhatTheFDL on Instagram, and on our personal at FDL Beauty on Instagram, and
At Fleur de Lis Beauty and Sex. First of all, calm down.
call us at
Fleur de Lis Beauty and Aesthetics.
such an obnoxious laugh.
On Instagram, our phone number is 718-650-2659. And you could email us at info@fdlbeauty.com.
Okay. Oh,
And all that's going to be written down.
yeah, because I know it's a lot.
Just look at it.
Yeah, just look
Right.
down.
So high five.
Do that.
We love you guys. Mwah. Talk to you next episode. We got to say,
Oh, yeah. Let's go.